Okay, so quick show of hands. Who works in a building? All right, so my talk is going to be about circularity in offices, so hopefully this is relevant to you. And you might think, what is a professional services got to do with this? But actually, we see our role in this topic as being really important because we are buyers, ultimately. We're customers. And if we don't generate the demand for circular practices or circular products, then nobody's ever going to make them. It's part of our strategy to accelerate the transition to both a low carbon and a circular economy, and that's never been more important. I'm sure you've all seen the IPCC reports and the Living Planet report, which tell us that we've got less than 12 years to halt the worst ravages of runaway climate change and also the collapse of nature. So we really have to get practical about these principles and put them in as fast as possible. So we have buildings, they're in cities, and we have over the last 11 years run a program called Going Circular, in which we've applied the principles of the circular economy to those offices in cities, saving us money, cutting our environmental impacts, and creating jobs for people around Britain. I'm going to give you 5 ways in which we've applied those principles. The first of them is the buildings themselves. So we have both designed buildings, we have retrofit buildings, and in this process, we've made beautiful buildings that have time and again achieved BREEAM Outstanding firsts. So they're very green buildings. You might think, what's that got to do with circularity? Well, this shiny building, apart from having a very circular-looking lobby, has, for example, got 80% recycled aggregate. In order to do that, we had to work with the engineers to change the way that the steel structure worked. But it means that our carbon footprint was much lower. We designed a lot of stuff off-site so that when it came in, it had minimal amounts of waste. We designed it so it's got 90% daylight through the building so that we can minimize the amount of energy that we need. We designed it also so that all of the furniture in it, as you'll see in a moment, is circular. And we recycled our own chip fat, so we had a carbon neutral fuel that we burnt in a CHP, combined heat and power plant, underneath the building, first time done at a site level. This is not me, this is the amazing guys in the facilities department, but I am so proud of what they've done. We did this in the first building in 2011. We did it for the first BREEAM Outstanding retrofit building in our headquarters at Charing Cross, proving it's possible to do it with an old building. And more recently at Central Square Leeds, where we've done it with other tenants, working with them to prove it's possible in a multi-tenanted building where we're not even controlling it, it's landlorded. So if you're in an office and you have control of offices or influence over the way they're designed and they're used, you are able to apply principles of the circular economy to buildings. Second one, much more familiar perhaps to most people. This is end of life. It's the waste. We all chuck stuff away. Back in 2012, we went zero to landfill. In the most popular move we ever did, we took desks away from underneath people's desks. Lots of complaints about that for about a year, but we rode it out. Segregating all the obvious things, paper, metal, glass, plastics, etc., but also collecting compostables and food waste and taking that off to AD or to commercial composting, and then sending everything else we've got, waste to energy, with energy recovery so that we can create clean electricity off the back of it. So that's all well and good, but there's a huge change program getting our people to come on that journey with us. Moreover, we then applied those principles to other things that don't end up in this hub. We take all our old laptops, we have thousands of laptops every year. We take them to a company in Preston, Tier 1, who are able to remanufacture those and either give them back to us with an extended warranty or sell them on in the marketplace, obviating the need for all the materials and the carbon and water footprint that goes into new laptops, same with our phones. We have support staff who are uniformed. We take all the uniforms back, and if they can't be reused, we send them off to a company in Birmingham and they get shredded and used as automotive insulation back into the marketplace. We've done it time and again with all sorts of things, including furniture, where we have remanufactured it and donated to charities, or we've brought it back into our business. So lots to do in this area, and in fact the results speak for themselves in this area. We've grown our business in revenue terms by 50%. We've cut our carbon, absolute scope 1, 2 and 3 by 37%. In 11 years. We've saved £24 million in energy costs, £4 million in paper costs. That's now down 64%, 65%. Waste is down 44%. So this makes money, saves us money, and it's also massively cutting our environmental footprint. Just takes the will to do it. We then moved on to circular procurement. We embedded the principles of the circular economy into our PQQs, our RFPs, and any other acronym you can find that works in the procurement department. But basically we said to suppliers, we want you to give us stuff which is designed for circularity. So we've worked with Orange Box, fantastic little company down in Wales. They make task chairs, the thing you sit on all day, every day, don't think about twice, but we have thousands of those, and we have retrofit thousands of them with Orange Box. They design them so that you can take them apart, and they give us another 10-year warranty on top of it, and it's massively reduced the amount of materials we use, and it was at a fraction of the cost of buying new ones. Most recently, we've applied that to these babies, and we've got examples of them over on the BITC Circular Office demo. They're lockers. We used to have lots of paper in our business. We used to file stuff, but it's all gone digital. So we don't need filing cabinets anymore. But we do want to maximize the use of our space. More people in the building means less carbon, also means less cost. So we took these lockers, kept the outer frames, and worked with KI Europe to gut the middle of them. All of that went to recycling and reuse elsewhere. But we retrofit in the middle, halving the space people had, and putting lockers in instead of the filing cabinet, so that people can keep their stuff here during the days. We've done 2,200 of those over the last year, saving us up to 40% on the cost versus buying new ones, and extending the warranty for 25 years. We've got examples over there. There's also a case study on the website. I'll tell you where to find it in a moment. And then we also, perhaps you might think this is a bit strange for circular economy, but we have 22,000 people employed by PwC in the UK, 250,000 around the world. They all have behaviours, they all consume stuff. So we thought, what if we were to encourage them? We recruit a lot of millennials, they all care about this. What if we were to encourage them and support them to adopt circular lifestyles? So we've extended the processes we have for our internal materials to outside. They can bring in personal gadgets, we will securely get the data off, and we will go and either recycle or remanufacture it. We've taken uniforms from, not uniforms, workwear, smart workwear, and we do a suit donation day where they can come in, they can give their suits to people who are disadvantaged, help them get into employment. And more recently, this one, hence the squash on the page, is about encouraging them to substitute meat for plant, because unless we move our diets to a vegan or vegetarian diet, then we're really not going to be able to combat climate change. So in January, we ran a campaign called the Veganuary Workplace Challenge. 550 people got pledged to adopt this behavior and try it out and become vegan curious. Phenomenal results here. We've had people who've told us they are more healthy, they feel more engaged, they feel very proud of what we did, they've lost weight, and to boot, of course, we've cut our carbon and water footprint along the way. So we'll be doing this one again for sure. If any of this, and finally we have a community volunteering program that's enormous, just thousands of people and hours every year. So we use some of that to support 25 circular startups across the country, most of them in cities, where we can give our skills to them and help them to scale up, become financially viable using our business skills. So I promised that there was somewhere else you can find it. pwc.co.uk/going circular has the whole story of 11 years worth, case studies, videos, the whole lot. The two that you've seen today, the new ones that we launched yesterday, are pwc.co.uk/lockstockbarrel or pwc.co.uk/veganuary, or you can find me on the stand over there where there's a lot more examples from both us and from the companies that I've mentioned. So in short, this is really important, as you know. We're doing lots of really tiny things that on their own look very humble, very mundane, but incredibly practical, but completely and utterly repeatable. And so I'd urge you just to share any stories about the practicalities of moving to the circular economy, because we really have to accelerate the transition. Thanks very much.